Hey everyone, Ethan Ainsworth here. I wanted to do a collection video of all my Iron Man single issues. I've got a lot of stuff collected in trade over there, and I don't know if that counts, but that's Iron Lantern, which is part of the Amalgam comic universe. Now, some of these are reprints, and I don't have any doubles in here as far as I know. I might have a few toward the back, but most of my doubles I keep in another pile over there. Um, so not including doubles, I have somewhere around 150 single issues of Iron Man. So let's get started, I guess. You got a reprint of Tales of Suspense. This is Tales of Suspense number 45. I have all of my reprints that aren't labeled on the cover, labeled on the back there. So this is from Tales of Suspense number 50 and 55. First couple Mandarin stories, I believe. Tales of Suspense number 44. Sorry, no, this is Invincible Iron Man number 44. Invincible Iron Man number 45, the first Thanos. Now we get on to the actual issues. Have the Invincible Iron Man number 71. I'm going to turn that light off. There we go. Invincible Iron Man number 71. That's my oldest original print issue of Iron Man. Invincible Iron Man number 74. Invincible Iron Man number 86. Now this is the first appearance of Blizzard, which is a classic Iron Man villain. Unfortunately, it's not in very good shape because some stupid kid decided to draw with like Sharpie or whatever on it. But aside from that, it's not in terrible shape. Just the bits of Sharpie there on the cover. Either way, still like a seminal issue of Iron Man, and still cool to have nonetheless, even though it's completely botched by some stupid kid. Invincible Iron Man number 111. Invincible Iron Man number 112. Punisher from Beyond. Now, I believe that this is the Punisher from Fantastic Four number 38, is it? With the coming of Galactus. I think this might be the same Punisher that Galactus used to have sanction over and used to use to resist worlds who were fighting his consumption. Invincible Iron Man number 114. This is a parody of 55, or homage, if you will. Invincible Iron Man number 115. The Annie-Men. I believe this is John Romita, but it might not be. John Romita might be my favorite Iron Man artist. Now, this is John Romita. This is Invincible Iron Man number 118. This is where I started my read-through. So currently, I'm reading through Iron Man from this issue, 118, all the way through Demon in the Bottle, all the way through every issue of Invincible Iron Man up until Heroes Reborn, which is the end of the first volume, the original end of the first volume of Invincible Iron Man. But depending on how I feel when I get there, I might keep going. But for now, that's my plan. Next I have Invincible Iron Man number 130. This is like right after Demon in a Bottle. I have Demon in a Bottle collected in trade. Thanks to Marvel Comics Unlimited, I've been able to fill in the gaps of what I don't have in trade or single issue. I do have most of what I'm reading in linear single issue or trade paperback order, but what I don't have, I use Marvel Unlimited to read. So it's been incredibly helpful in that way. Iron Man 134. Iron Man 135. This is where he fights the Crimson Dynamo and the plaza at Rockefeller Center. Iron Man number 136. Iron Man versus Endotherm. Who's like a really, really lame... I believe he's like a disgruntled Stark employee. Anyway, he's a super, super lame character who, to my knowledge, never appears after that point. Invincible Iron Man number 137. Invincible Iron Man number 138. Love that cover. The Dreadnought. Invincible Iron Man number 139. Madame Mask appearance. Invincible Iron Man number 140. Invincible Iron Man number 143. This is the first appearance of Suncharian, who also, to my knowledge, doesn't appear again, because I'm pretty sure he dies at the end, if I recall correctly. Invincible Iron Man number 144, Vietnam issue. Invincible Iron Man number 156. This is the first appearance of Blacklash, who is the successor to Whiplash. Same person, same character, just different costume and name. This is just a continuation of that fight. Invincible Iron Man number 148. This is 147, by the way. Invincible Iron Man number 149. This is a really cool issue because this is where Iron Man and Doctor Doom team up and get trapped in the past in Camelot. And they go on this awesome sci-fi magic adventure, which will be sequelized 100 issues later. And we'll come up on that and see that. Invincible Iron Man number 153. Invincible Iron Man number 154 is the Unicorn. Invincible Iron Man number 155. Invincible Iron Man number 157. Iron Man versus the Spores. Invincible Iron Man number 158. Hold on. Let me turn that light back on. This is a great cover. Invincible Iron Man number 160. The Serpent Squad. Invincible Iron Man number 162. Invincible Iron Man number 163. First appearance of the Chessmen, who suck. I do have 2 copies of that. Invincible Iron Man number 164. This is one of my favorite covers. It's just really, really cool. Iron Man fighting a wizard. Great cover. I've not gotten around to reading this one yet on my read-through. Invincible Iron Man number 165. It's a continuation of that story. Invincible Iron Man number 166. Invincible Iron Man number 167. Invincible Iron Man number 168. Machine Man. Invincible Iron Man number 171. Invincible Iron Man number 174. It's a classic cover, one of my favorite covers from the series. Invincible Iron Man number 175. Invincible Iron Man number 176. That's another great cover. That's very much like a Jack Kirby tech style cover. Invincible Iron Man number 177. I wonder if this sort of spiraling circular pattern would have been like an impressive effect at the time. It probably would have been more impressive looking if you did it somewhere where it actually made sense. But I guess there was a lot of negative space they were trying to fill in that cover. Invincible Iron Man number 179. I think Rhodey might be Iron Man by this time. I can't quite recall the issue in which he becomes Iron Man. But it's, I think it's somewhere around here. Invincible Iron Man number 180. That said, Rhodey has become Iron Man more than once during the Invincible Iron Man series of comics. But the first time he becomes Iron Man for, like, on a permanent basis, yeah, here it is. He is Iron Man at this time. 181. Rhodey as Iron Man there. I actually really like Rhodey as Iron Man. I think he's, in many ways, he's a more interesting Iron Man than Tony Stark, because he's not a genius, and so he has to solve his problems a little bit differently. So that's issue 183. Issue 184. Issue 185. At this point, I believe Tony Stark is sort of John Stewarted himself in that he's sort of lost the confidence to become Iron Man, to act as Iron Man. Introducing the villainy of Vibro. First appearance of the human vibrator there. Iron Man 170 or 187, the continuation of that. Iron Man 188, that's with the Brothers Grimm. Iron Man 189, Enter the Termite. Now that's just because I haven't read up here linearly doesn't mean I haven't read some of these issues independently before. Iron Man 193 is where Tony Stark is refusing to act as Iron Man still. He's wearing the Mark 1 armor, and Rhodey is wearing the Mark 4. 194. 195. 197. 199. And now number 200 would be the first appearance of the Silver Centurion armor, which is a personal favorite of mine. I don't have it though. I've got Iron Man 203, 207, great cover, 208. We see a logo change with the coming of issue 200 as well. 209, 210. 211, 213, with Jack of Hearts, I believe. Or no, it was Dante Fortune, was it? Dominic Fortune, yeah. 214 with Julia Carpenter. This is 219, it's a reprint. This is the first appearance of the Ghost. 221, The Defeat of the Ghost. 222, great cover. 223. 224. 225, reprint, first Armor Wars issue. 232, great cover. 234, Spider-Man crossover. I believe Spider-Man is kidnapped by Radioactive Man, which is like, what? Which would never realistically happen, but it's an Iron Man comic, so I guess Spider-Man has to be saved by Iron Man at the end, and then they team up. So yeah, that's actually, this is a cover I see on t-shirts a lot, for some reason. I personally don't think it's a great cover. I think it's kind of a waste of a Spider-Man appearance. 235... 236, the Grey Gargoyle. Iron Man's villains are weird, man. 237, that's a Fin Fang Foom cover, I believe. 238, the Rhino. Really cool. Hope I'm not too out of focus here. The lighting situation makes it a little bit hard to keep focus. $239, the return of the Ghost. I believe this is the first time he returns. 240, Blacklash is still Blacklash at this point. 241, 242, more Mandarin stuff. 243. This is an interesting story arc that is spawned from this issue in particular, and will eventually lead to Rhodey being Iron Man permanently for the second time. So it's kind of a seminal point in Iron Man's history. The Giant Size 244, which is a reference to 144. You see the dual cover there. Go back here, let's see if we can find 144 again. There we go. You can see the covers are directly paralleled. 245. The Dreadnought returns. 246. I have a couple of those. Great cover too. 247. Appearance of Hulk, or crossover with Hulk rather. 248. Leading up to the death of Tony Stark. 249. You see the return of the Doctor Doom story. So in 149 and 150 was the first Doom Quest crossover where they went to Camelot in the past. In 249 and 250 is the time in which Iron Man and Doctor Doom go to Camelot in the year 3000. So there it is, number 250. I have a couple issues, or a couple copies of that issue. 251, Wrecker. 252, 253, 254, Santa Claus, 255, Crimson Dynamo issue, 256, 257, 267. Oops. A little bit of a tape sound there. 268. Camera work is shoddy this time around. This is another Vietnam issue. For some reason, they like to redo they like to take out whole issues to redo Iron Man's story all the goddamn time during this run, instead of like with Amazing Spider-Man, where they tell you what happened all the time, and it's always been like the same printed origin. In Iron Man, they like retcon the origin a little bit every time, and I think they have like 4 or 5 different issues during the run of Invincible Iron Man at least, where they just show you the origin again and take a whole issue to do so, which is really obnoxious and really like kills the pace of the story if you're reading it in a run. And they do that during Demon in the Bottle. It really breaks up the whole story. It's a little bit annoying, but 269. This is approaching the death of Stark. The alleged death of Stark, I should say. Move these issues back a little bit. There we go. Make it a little bit easier. Vietnam. 69. This is another story out of the bunch that I have read. This is, what is this called? Wrath of the Mandarin or something like that? Anyway, 270, this is where Iron Man goes to China, and he's basically coerced into helping the Chinese government. And he fights Fin Fang Foom, and there's some great roadie stuff in there as well. Dragon Seed Saga, that's what it's called. So it's a 5-part saga. It goes over the origins of Fin Fang Foom. It's one of the more climactic battles, arguably, between Iron Man and the Mandarin. Fin Fang Foom feels like a real, genuine threat. It's another great cover. And then so that's 270 through 275, and now we have 276, 277, 280. Oh, this is really cool idea. This is a cult kind of sect from the future, from Guardians 3000, that like found Stark's technology, and they named themselves the Stark after Tony Stark, and they're basically like a technology cult from the future. This is the death of Tony Stark, 284. I lost my place there. Yeah, so 284. Tony Stark dies, kinda, not really, and Rhodey becomes Iron Man permanently again instead of a reservist Iron Man, and that's a really interesting run that I have read. So 286, I really like Rhodey as Iron Man. Actually, I reviewed, I think, this issue, or no, a future issue. 287. 288, great cover, a couple issues of that, a couple copies of that. This one I reviewed before. 289. 290, The Return of Tony Stark. This is a great cover. First appearance of the Mark 13, I think it is. 292, excuse me. 293. 294, great cover. 295. 296, MODOK. 297. 298, getting close to the end here. 299. 310, a couple copies of that, a little bit of a gap there. 311 and 318. So I get a little bit spotty toward the end. And that's more or less where the series ends, or at least the first original run of Volume 1 ends before Heroes Reborn, and then the subsequent reboot of the title about a year later. So I have Invincible Iron Man Annual number 5. Love that cover. It's a Wakanda issue, the Black Panther issue. Annual number 6, To Free the Eternals. Iron Man Annual number 7. Iron Man Annual number 8, X Factor. Iron Man Annual number 9, great cover. Iron Man Annual number 14. Iron Man Annual number 15, so a huge one. And the 2013, I want to say, Invincible Iron Man number 1. I have not had anybody sketch on that cover yet. Number 7, this is the God Killer story. Number 8, that was God Killer. And this is when I started reading Iron Man regularly for a while. Number 1 from the Bendis run. It's really, I really like that that first issue. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4, the Mary Jane cover. And then after that, I had to read online because my comic shop stopped carrying new comics at that point because they were getting ready to close down. And so I've got number 10. And this is from like 2010, 2011, Iron Man 2.0. Sort of random issues. Iron Patriot number 1, starring Jim Rhodes. Armor Wars number 1 from Secret Wars. And Iron Man 2 Public Identity, which is a prequel to Iron Man 2. I also have an issue of Ultimate Iron Man. And yeah, so that's my single issue Iron Man collection in full, more or less, excluding what do you call them? Iron Lantern and doubles, of which there are quite a few. Maybe you'll get to see my Iron Man trade paperbacks and hardcovers and all that stuff this January when I do my annual graphic novel collection. I'm thinking about doing a Flash collection as well because I have quite a lot of Flash, like more than I have Iron Man probably, of Flash comics. So maybe I'll do a collection of those at some point soon. But until that point, I bid you adieu. I shall see you later.